So first on the agenda, we actually have public comment. If anybody would like to come up, you can come up to the podium, just state your name, address, and you'll have 3 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Mark Intockley. I'm a Bloomfield Township Precinct 3 delegate. I am requesting a 10% reduction in the variable rates for water and sewer because of the information in this packet. The unrestricted net position has increased from about 9 million to over 20 million in the last 2 years, and that's the basis of my request. It's apparent that we are more than well funded. And even based on the documents presented by the township, claiming we have a 25% pro rata portion for operating expenses in our in the revenue collected, which would be 7 million, and in the report from UHY, it's listed at a little over 4 million as well. So again, I'm requesting a 10% rate reduction in water and sewer. The other thing I noticed was the GASB disclosures do not include include a contribution from water and sewer. Those funds were never approved by the board since 2008. The funds that are approved were the 2 million and then the 1.25 million plus the 500,000 additional during COVID lockdowns. Other items that are transferred from water and sewer, like the pension bond debt, are approved by the board, or the central services fees, while the additional contributions from water and sewer are not. And I'd like to understand why those items are not included in the audit. Lastly, I would like to comment on the pension bond, which appears to be down about 20 million from January 1. The actuaries for the pension bond are established on January 1 of the year, not at the financial year. The last time we had a $12 million drop in the pension assets, there was a $600,000 increase to the actuarially determined contributions. So I don't know if the additional contributions for this year have been made yet. Today we have 2 items, capital items on for public safety. It might be prudent to use the public safety or the COVID relief funds against those expenditures and move cash into the future expenditures capital investment fund that the township set up. That would free up cash in the upcoming years, especially if property values drop due to increased interest rates. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Good evening. Normally I'm here on Tuesdays. My name is Kathy Weisenborn. I serve as the manager of Bloomfield Village Association, and I'm also a village resident. As you are aware, the residents of Bloomfield Village are in the process of trying to form 5 special assessment districts to allow us to pay to improve our roads. Therefore, I have special appreciation for the process that you as a board have gone through, as well as the township staff, in articulating and clarifying a special assessment district process and policy with a written document. With the importance of clarity in mind, I would draw your attention to the section that's entitled Assessment Amount Increases, which is on page 4 of the proposed policy you'll address this evening. I think it's like on page 142 of the packet you received. This section addresses the scenario where the final assessment cost after the bids come in exceeds the estimated cost by more than 15%. The proposed policy requires that the proposed SAD be placed on a 30-day hold and that an additional or third public hearing take place. Once that prescribed hold period has concluded and the public hearing is conducted, the proposed policy lays out 3 options for you as a board. Option 1 would be the township board would ask the residents to go back and recirculate the petition with the updated bid costs included in it. Option 2 would be the township board could approve the SAD on its own motion. Or option 3, the project does not proceed. On behalf of the Village Association and the dedicated volunteers who are going to attempt to do SADs, 5 of them in the village, I would respectfully suggest that you include in the written policy a 4th option, which may be implied, but it's not included in the written words of the proposed policy. And that 4th option would be to allow approval, this board to approve the SAD on the basis of the petition already presented, as well as the comments that you receive at the 3 public hearings. As an example, if the board were presented with a petition that had substantial public support, resident support, say 65, 70%, and had negligible opposition at 3 public hearings, wouldn't it make sense to clearly give you the option to approve the SAD on that basis? We think that in articulating that 4th option would give the board the flexibility to approve the SAD in that circumstance where there is substantial residential support without requiring the delay and the cost of recirculation. A second area in which...
Weisenborn, we're just near the end of your 3 minutes.
Okay. The second area that I thought clarification would be helpful is has been your past practice to allocate the SAD cost, aggregate project costs, on a pro rata basis. I didn't find that written in the policy, and we just thought that might be helpful to make that clear. Thank you for listening to my comments and suggestions.
Thanks.
Anybody else here to speak? Close public comment.